Hello everyone. Welcome to the part 2 of the rural housing in India. So, in the last class, we discussed about the rural housing scenario in India, and we have also seen that housing is one of the basic requirements of human beings. Adequate shelter for each and every household is a fundamental prerequisite for a healthy living in any society. And a house or a shelter, howsoever tiny, serves a particular aspect of basic needs of poor households without which it is difficult to survive. So, a house protects a poor household from the vagaries of nature, in the absence of which they are forced to take to streets and live in open. So, in part 2, we'll be discussing on the factors influencing rural housing, types of housings, and methods of innovations that can be used in India with respect to rural housing. So, before going to the detail of the rural housing scenarios, let's have a thought about the factors to be pondered while planning for rural houses. As we all know, provision of rural housing in rural areas is a major factor when we talk about the conditions and the necessity of having rural houses in India. Usage of locally available materials for construction is an important factor. Then, consideration to the geography of land and climatic conditions is also very important, especially in a country like India, where we have a diversified geography and the nature and land requirements varies from geography to geography. So, in brief, the factors which are responsible for the rural housing in India includes geographical location, size of the land, productivity of the land, type of the land use, whether the land is used for agricultural purpose or it is suitable for housing, then number of members living in that particular family, proximity to a river or a source of drinking water, housing comforts, social infrastructure, investments, etc. So we can all this can be together combined to be called as the physical factors, climatic factors, environmental factors, ethnic and cultural factors, economical factors, and migration. Now let's have a look into the rural houses of some of the states in India. Let's take the example of Gujarat. Here the houses have common walls and their plinths are not raised much above the ground. The walls are made up of burnt bricks with mud mortar, grasses, leaves and woods. Even the rich people's house have wood work done on solid wood. The roofs are made of country tile sometimes and mostly grasses were also used. Most of the houses have doors at the center. There is a separate door to the stable, and the ventilation is somewhat insufficient in some of the houses. It looks more or less like a cylindrical shape. When it comes to Punjab and Haryana, building materials are mostly from mud and grass. Burnt brick segments, concrete and iron has changed the design of the houses recently. Bricklings are common features in these two states and use of burnt bricks is increasing fast. Most of the houses have moderate size of rooms. Separate store and kitchens are being constructed. Kettles are being separated from the living quarters of the family, which were seen as part of the houses earlier. And as compared to the old large houses having small number of rooms, new constructions have more number of rooms per household. So in recent decades, the improvement in the road linking up of villages with highways have contributed to a greater factor for building more durable materials for the housings. When you talk about Himachal Pradesh, the houses are built haphazardly. Both stone and woods are used in alternate layers. No mud mortar is used here. Most of the houses are of 2 stories, some with small rooms in between the 2 stories, locally known as panth. Panth is only 4% meter high and has only one opening for light. So the family retires to this in winter months because of the cold weather, and the gabled roof is laid over a structure of wooden beams. The covering material is slate. Such a type of house is common in certain districts of Himachal Pradesh like Mahesh. When it comes to Jammu and Kashmir, again, the housing structure and scenario varies from region to region. When you talk about regions like Kutch, a large variety of houses are constructed depending upon the natural conditions of the particular areas. Mud or burned brick walled houses are seen, having thatched or tiled roofs. Rainfall in this region is around 122 centimeters, and temperature recorded is an average of 45.7 degrees in summer. So the area lies in the sub-montage region of the western Himalayas. Stone-walled houses are being preferred. Then the areas where such houses are found is also known as outer hill areas. So these areas experience heavy snow and rain as well. When it reaches to the pure Himalayan regions, stone-walled houses are being seen mostly. Um, if you move through the Indus Valley areas, such houses are seen in high concentration. And it has its origin in Manasarovar in Tibet as well. Its boundary in the south is in the controlled range of Himalaya and is bounded to the north as well. Leh has particularly no rainfall, and temperature in winter goes to minus 18 degrees Celsius. So the dwellings are far apart from each other and are made up of stones. Besides the economic backwardness, inaccessibility also accounts for the use of stones in these regions. Wood is scarce material here and therefore extremely expensive as well. So you cannot see much wooden houses in such areas. When it comes to the southern typical tip of the southern India, Kerala, you can see lot of traditional houses, and they are known as nalikattas and made up of wooden walls and thatched or tiled roofs. And when it comes to modern houses, you can see luxurious houses in Kerala, irrespective of the economic conditions of the family. And housing has been given due importance to show the status quo of the family, especially in southern parts of Kerala as well as in north part as well. So this houses consist of a drawing room, dining room, bedrooms with attached bath and a separate kitchen and store. Houses have tiled roofs. The walls are plastered with lime or cement. Windows have iron bars. The houses have wooden ceilings. Almost all the houses of this type have electricity and water from pipes, that is from public support. So this is a peculiarity of the houses in Kerala. And you can also see houses of laterite, especially in the northern parts where the houses belong to the middle income people, or there is no specific income categories. They have the superstructure made up of laterite blocks, and walls are plastered with lime and sand, and in few cases with lime and red laterite soil. Few houses have cement floors, with the majority of the houses have floor of beaten earth coated with cow dung and charcoal. And these houses have verandas at the front and back as well. And when you go to the tribal areas, you can see the houses made up of beaten bamboo walls. The floor is also bamboo and roofs are thatched. To ensure safety from wild animals in some areas, the houses are constructed at significant sufficient height from the ground level on the branches of the trees. This can be seen in Attapadi, Wayanad, Idukki districts of Kerala. The houses of the specific tribals are constructed on rectangular basements with 2 or 3 steps to an average total height to 3 to 5 meters. The walls of the houses are made up of mud or clay or sometimes of burnt bricks. So bamboos and woods are being commonly used here also, and there is no particular means of ventilation other than the spacing in the roofs. So whatever be the scenario of the housing, in general, the materials used in the housing in India can be classified as follows, like the locally available materials. It should be cheap and economical, and it should be environment friendly, and should be good for human health, less in weight, durable, bad conductor of heat, so that it can be used during the summer season as well. And the most important thing is durability and strength. And the major components of rural Indian houses are categorized into three: floor, wall, and roof. When you talk about the floors in the Indian houses, stones, mud flooring, wooden floor, cement floor, tile or mosaic floors are being widely used, irrespective of the states. And it varies from region to region depending upon the availability of the raw material that can be used in that particular area. And the next one is walls. When you talk about walls, wood, bamboo reinforced mud wall, grass or tree branches reinforced mud walls, cow dungs, etc. can be seen along with stone mud walls. And roof, when you talk about roof, grass roof, bamboo roof made up of bamboos, wood, stone, handmade tiles, tiled roofs, leaves like coconut leaves were also being used. So these are the three major components that are widely being used among the housing scenario in India. Land is a major concern for almost all the states in India is concerned. Access to finance, whether you get sufficient loan or subsidiary for building a house, infrastructure and habitat development, then sustainability concerns, technology support and transfer, capacity building of manpower, delivery mechanisms and capacity building, monitoring and access to information are all the areas of concerns for housing in rural areas in India. Some of the innovations found in the technologies, in the rural technologies or the affordable technologies that we found in the rural housing in India, are they should be cost effective, and disaster proof technology is being widely used, especially the pillars foundation seen in Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, considering the soil condition, and especially that has been widely used in Kerala after the recent 2018 deluge. Disaster proofs houses where, even though the houses are in not so prone areas, high concentration has been given to make them disaster proof. And the very sad part is that 95% of the people do not have much knowledge about the disaster proof technologies that should be used while constructing houses. And we should highly appreciate the initiatives taken by the government of Kerala with regard to Indira Awas Yojana housing insurance. They had given specifically the usage of disaster proof and pillar foundations for the houses. And when you talk about the cost effective technology, especially in states like Rajasthan, locally available stone patties were used for roof. For flooring and filling the gap between the bricks for the construction of the wall, lime, mud mortar with locally available materials are widely used. When it comes to the southern parts like Tamil Nadu, the beneficiaries of Indira Awas Yojana were fixing the tiles on the roofing, and asbestos sheets Steel sheets for the roof were also found in places like Maharashtra and Gujarat. And most of the houses in Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Gujarat were using local woods as patties to support the roofs. And the states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu supplying materials like steel, wood, windows, doors, and cements for their housing. And in areas like Himachal Pradesh, people are using three types of sand, like coarse sand for RCC roofing. RCC roofing is a concrete roofing that we are using nowadays. Sand mixed with mud is used for filling the gap between bricks. Then fine sand is used for plastering of walls, flooring purposes, etc. So the main thing is that honeycomb technology is also used nowadays, which can be seen in the last slide of this particular slide, last part of this particular slide. So interlock brick technology is also used where you have lot of water being floated in the floor. So whatever be the technology being used, the only thing that has to be taken into consideration is that it should be affordable to the geography and the climatic conditions of the that particular area where the house is planning to be built. So this is all about the rural housing scenarios in India. Please go through this suggested reading so that you will get a better insight about the housing patterns and the materials being used. Thank you.